Hi everyone, we're back to show you another exciting feature of Sophos Firewall version 20. Today I'll talk about IPv6 support in the Border Gateway Protocol, or BGP. As you know in SFOS v19.5, we introduced a new stacking route, migrated existing routing protocols, and extended support for OSPF v3. In version 20, we're now extending the dynamic routing support for IPv6 in BGP. This is a significant upgrade as BGP is a core routing protocol used in the global internet. Unlike other routing protocols, BGP in SFOS does not require a separate process or service for IPv4 and IPv6. It's a unified service that simplifies configuration and management. While there are no new user experience changes for IPv6 support in BGP, the existing user interface options have simply been extended to configure both IPv4 and IPv6 on the same page. To help administrators, there are dedicated sections for IPv4 and IPv6 routing information. By default in SFOS, IPv4 networks are published over IPv4 neighbors, and likewise, IPv6 networks over IPv6 neighbors, aligning with industry standards. However, you do have the flexibility to configure additional features and change this behavior using the command line interface, or CLI. Apart from this, we've upgraded FRR to the latest stable version v8.4.2. Now, moving on to the demo. I'll establish BGP over IPv6 between two firewalls and verify host communication over IPv6 routes learned via BGP. The topology being used is shown here along with the steps I'll be following. Let's jump into the SFOS UI. As mentioned, there's no BGP page for IPv6. It simply lives on the existing page. And now you're able to configure v6 attributes in the neighbor and network sections. New filters have been added to allow you to view only IPv4 or v6 as needed. Moving to the Information tab, we now have two dedicated sections for IPv4 and IPv6. In these two firewalls, IPv4 neighborship is already formed. And here in IPv6, there's no neighborship established yet. Before we configure neighbors and networks for IPv6, let's look at the host-to-host communication status in the CLI. So on the upper left, we have host 1 behind firewall 1. On the right is host 2 behind firewall 2. Likewise, on the bottom left is firewall 1 and firewall 2 on the right. Let's try pinging the right-hand side and host. And we see that it's not working. So let's go ahead and configure firewall 1. In the BGP tab, under Neighbors, I'll click Add. Then select IPv6 as an IPv6 neighbor. Now I'll add a BGP network. We want to publish over BGP v6. I'll switch to the Information tab to check if the neighborship was established and if the routes were learned correctly for BGP v6. So it looks like the packets have already been sent and received. I can expand the summary for further information. Things appear to be set up correctly. I'll expand routes to see the rules that were learned. And I can see we have reachability for the destination via BGP. Let's return to the CLI. I'll try pinging again. This time it's successful because the routes have been learned. We can also check whether the routing was learned on the firewall itself, just like we saw in the SFOS UI. So again, this was a simple test to establish a BGP neighborship between two firewalls and establish end communication between end-to-end hosts. And that covers our overview of IPv6 support in BGP in Sophos Firewall version 20. I hope you found this video useful. Let us know by giving us a thumbs up on TechVids. For further assistance, view and post questions on community.sophos.com. And go to techvids.sophos.com for more great videos like this one. Thanks for watching.